Hey there, I'm the MadCatster. Am I glad to see you here? Well, things are heating up in Miami, and I'm not talking about the weather. Miss Nikita Dragun has gotten herself into some hot water, and she was arrested and charged with a felony. I've got the receipts. You know I do. We're going to talk about it right now, so let's get into it. So I am here today with Amelie, my oldest cat, and she's a very old girl in terms of cat years. But Sybil, alas, is not feeling so great tonight. It's like this never-ending cycle, and Amelie is being very anxious. Amelie's going to be her stand-in tonight, and Amelie is my oldest cat. She had a biological sister who sadly passed away a couple of years ago. Amelie is in very good health, but she's also a little senile, and I mean, seriously, she's a little senile. And she sleeps with me every single night. Anyways, let's talk about Miss Nikita Dragun and the shenanigans she got up to in Miami. Nikita Dragun is not known to be uncontroversial, but she may have stepped a little bit too far over the line the other day down in Miami when she was staying at the Good Time Hotel. And I think she took the name a little too literally because she had a little too much of a good time from what I'm reading. Apparently, La Femme Nikita, the mother of all dragons. I shouldn't call her the mother of all dragons because I'll offend Daenerys Targaryen. So if you hear anybody yell Dracarys, hit the deck, okay? Anyways, so Nikita checked into the hotel, and it's not quite clear whether she was doing some kind of a promo with them, whether they comped her stay. Because she had posted on social media showing herself at the hotel and eating, etc. And in fact, there's a funny clip, or what I think is a funny clip, put out by The Guardian in the UK that says Nikita Dragun eating her last meal before getting arrested, and it shows a clip of her sitting in the cafe eating. So, I mean, haha, last meal. Anyways, it's not that funny. But Nikita Dragun apparently got into some trouble because she's staying at the hotel and decided to go in flagrante, as they say, wearing nothing at all, walking around the swimming pool. Now, the thing that I found confusing was they said that she was doing this for quite some time, and yet during that period, nothing happened to her. It wasn't until she went back to her room and was playing her music way too loud, and guests complained that the police were called and sent to her room. When the police went to her room, apparently she didn't like that very much, and there's some question as to whether she was intoxicated. My guess would probably be yes, because these are not the kind of crazy things you do when you're sober. Trust me, I know before I got sober. Apparently the police annoyed her, so Nikita Dragun decided, well, she was going to throw some water in the cop's face. Many of you probably aren't aware, and I will tell you as an attorney, that throwing water at someone is assault, and it doesn't matter if you don't punch them or slap them or hit them. I mean, even a slight push, and we saw that in the Deaf Noodles case where people were like, well, he didn't really hit him, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to hit somebody for it to be assault. Unwanted touching is what is the standard, and objects and things like water count as instruments of assault. So if you throw something at someone or you splash them with water or whatever you do that is an unwanted touching of their person, it's assault. So she was charged with felony assault, which is very serious. And Rich Lux had someone on commenting about the arraignment. Rich showed the arraignment and a big portion of it. So during the arraignment, you can see in this video clip, and I won't play the audio, but she looks very uncomfortable and very unhappy. And I'm sure part of that is, well, you sober up and find yourself in jail. It's not usually a good thing. I fortunately never had that happen. But the other thing is, I pulled up the arrest records and the court documents, and you'll see here, and I always get the receipts. First of all, they booked her in as a male, and I'm guessing that's because her ID probably says male still. And so, of course, she got put in with the men in the jail. So that didn't make her very happy. And she asked the judge at one point during the arraignment if she could be moved. And the judge said she didn't have any control over that, which is true. The judges don't have control over the prisons. I've also got here a copy of like the whole information sheet about her arrest and the charges. And you can see here that she's charged with a felony. She's got 3 charges. And she was appointed a public defender. And you can see that down in the docket section, which I'm going to put up right here. So you can see that she did get a public defender. So she didn't hire her own lawyer, probably because she didn't have enough time. I don't know. Although there's a question about whether she had the resources, because the judge had initially discussed setting her bond at $2,000. And it sounded like Nikita Dragun didn't have that kind of money on her, which leads you to question, well, she's got millions of followers. So it sounded kind of scary, because the thought of getting stuck there without a way to bail yourself out is pretty frightening, especially in her situation. But I looked at, and you can see here down on the docket section of the sheet that it says ROR, and what that means is on released on Own Recognizance, and that means they didn't end up making her pay a bond, so she was let out on her own recognizance, which is a good thing. That's the best scenario. If you're ever arrested, you want to get on your own recognizance, because it means you don't have to put any money up. So she's now going to have to face these charges. My guess is they'll probably end up doing some kind of a plea deal with her. That's usually what happens. It's not a serious assault in terms of nobody got hurt, and she, I don't think, is a repeat offender. I know she offends some people, and I know last year there was some controversy because she called herself the first trans pop star, and people got really upset about that because it's not true. But anyways, I digress. So most likely what's going to happen is the DA will make some kind of a deal. She'll probably plead to a lesser charge so that she doesn't have a felony on her record. They may make her do community service or pay a fine. They may even set up what we call, it's like something gets filed without a finding, and they call it different things in different districts. But what it basically means is you're put on probation, and if you behave yourself for whatever period of time they set, then at the end of that, they will basically dismiss it, and it's not on your record, and it's like it never happened. So that's the best case scenario for her. And I'm assuming that her public defender, if she doesn't get her own lawyer, her public defender, I'm sure, is very experienced with that. So that's my guess. You'll probably see in the coming days, she ends up with some kind of a plea, and the charges ultimately will end up being dismissed. But she's better watch herself now, and the judge told her she can't go back to the Good Time Hotel, and I'm sure they don't want her back either. And I think that there was it looks like from the sheet that there was a stay away order. And I know the judge said during the arraignment that she could go back to get her things because her stuff was still at the hotel. So I guess she doesn't have any assistant or anything traveling with her. And after that, she can't go back. So hopefully she's learned her lesson, and she'll try not to create controversy. And part of me was saying, well, we haven't really heard anything from Nikita Dragun in a while. So is this her way of drawing some attention and getting some coverage? Because, I mean, it was on NBC, it was in the UK press about social media, and, you know, so there's a buzz all over, and it's sort of like, well, controversy breeds publicity. So is she upset because no one's really been talking about her for a while, and she's decided she needed a little bit of a push in the ratings or the views, and she thought this was a good way to accomplish that? I don't know, but I certainly don't think it's a good way to do it. But if that was her goal, she got her wish, because everybody's talking about it now, and it's all over the media. So hopefully, Nikita, if you're listening, take it from an attorney. Don't do this again, because you don't want to have a felony on your record. Trust me, it screws up your life. I've had clients when I was doing criminal defense, and I mean, it hurts everything from jobs to housing to employment, and you just don't want it. You don't want a criminal record. I don't care how minor you might think your conduct is. Just don't do it, okay? And drink responsibly, people. But anyways, that is the news about Nikita Dragun. Tell me what you think down below. Do you think this is a stunt? Do you think she was trying to just get her name out in the press? Or do you think she just screwed up and got a little tipsy? And I don't know. I mean, most people, when they get tipsy, don't walk around naked around the pool or throw water at police. But tell me what you think down below. Thank you so much to our supporters. We don't have any Amazon packages to open or talk about today, but if you would like to be recognized in the next video, the wish list for the cats is down below, and all the stuff is just for the cats. There's nothing for me there. And the cats appreciate it. I appreciate it. We appreciate our Patreon patrons, and we appreciate our channel subscribers, and we appreciate everyone who has generously sent stuff from the Amazon wish list. that makes the cats very happy. Cedric is here, and he's actually being a good boy. He's usually a pain in the rear. And just before I started recording, he kept banging into my mic and walking. Well, now he's going to do it now that I mentioned his name. But he's actually being a good boy today. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Please be sure to check out my Aaron Carter video. It's a more serious tone, obviously, because it's very, very, very tragic. And really, even though I wasn't an Aaron Carter fan, it did really upset me. Because he lost his fight to addiction, and that really just hits me here. So check out my Aaron Carter video where we talk about his story, and also check out my last Ace family video about the new photos on their house tour. You guys take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.
Pretty please. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell. I get a treat for every new sub. Thank you.